today, if you're practicing at home and you have 2 blocks, it'll be useful towards the end to have 2 blocks. If you don't, it's fine, we'll make it work. But if you do have 2 blocks at home, go ahead and grab them. Okay, take a comfortable seat on your mat. We're going to start just singing 3 ohms and then get right into it. So sit tall and still and start to notice your breath. And we'll let singing these ohms be like a pranayama. So deep breaths, exhale, deep breaths, inhale. And if you want to sing along at home, singing as loud as you can. Here we go. Okay, we'll take a full deep exhale together. Breathe in. Take another breath and let yourself just notice your body and your mind. Okay, go ahead and make your way to child's pose. I'm going to put this harmonium away and we'll get started right there. Okay, from your child's pose, we're not going to stay here long. We're going to get going right away, but let your armpits stretch towards the floor as you press your palms down. Good, and as we inhale, we're coming up. Hips straight over knees. Walk your hands out to puppy pose. So full extension of your spine, of your back. You can let your forehead sit on the floor or your chin. Feel like someone were grabbing your outer hips and tugging the hips back. Okay, so the spine lengthens long into traction. Good, look forward, press into your hands, and then walk your hands back, tuck your toes, and press yourself back into a squat. If your heels don't come down, squat higher. Okay, otherwise deep squat, press your elbows into your knees. Take a breath here. Okay, then place your hands to the floor and slowly walk your hands out, okay, until you're in a table pose. And for a moment, hover your knees. So your knees are not on the floor, belly toned. Tuck your tailbone towards your heels, a breath. Again, knees hovering just over the floor. Good, and then set your knees down, walk your hands out again. Second time, puppy pose. Good, pull your heart forward, let your chest melt towards the floor. Feel your waist narrow as you feel your hips pull back in space, widen your inner thighs. One more breath. Good, walk your hands in, walk them all the way back, tuck your toes, squat, bring your hands to prayer. Press your elbows into your knees, feel the crown of your head rise up. Squeeze your glutes a little bit to open the knees more. Good, slowly walk your hands out. Okay, shoulders over wrists, knees hovering over the floor. Hovering table pose. Tone your belly in, stay for 3. Squeeze your belly towards the spine. 2, 1. Okay, last round of this. Walk your arms forward, puppy pose. Okay, so getting a little deeper each time. Maybe your chest is coming a little closer towards the earth. Maybe some of you setting your heart right down on your mat. Okay, take one more full body breath here. Okay, press into your hands, start to walk your hands in, tuck your toes, squat. Last one. Lift your sternum bone up towards the thumbs. Guide the knees open wide. Take a breath. Okay, walk your hands to the floor, walk them forward. Bring your knees underneath your hips and hovering over the ground for 3. Good, spine is parallel to the floor. 2. Tone the belly in for 1. Good, then send your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths here. Let your chin tuck in towards your chest. Okay, for a breath, lift your toes up off the floor, spread your toes, and reach or drive your heels towards the ground. Feel the low belly pulling up. We call that Uddiyana Bandha. Pelvic floor drawing in and up. Good. As you bend your knees, on an exhale, we're going to walk our way up to the top of our mat. Take a few steps to get there, and then extend Ardha Uttanasana. It's okay to take a bend in your knees. We're just getting started. As you exhale, fold. Okay, feet could be hips width apart, or maybe you take your feet in, balls of the feet to touch, heels slightly separated. Bend your knees for Utkatasana. On an inhale, reach your arms up. Let your tailbone tuck towards the floor. Draw your low belly in, and then bend your elbows to cactus or field goal pose. Draw your shoulder blades onto the back. Okay, inhale, arms go up. Exhale, bend your elbows, squeeze your shoulder blades on the back. Good, inhale, arms go up. Okay, exhale, bend your elbows, squeeze your shoulder blades onto your back. 1 more. Good, exhale. Let the quads fire up. Take 2 more breaths here. So we're looking to cultivate that heat in the body by turning on some of our larger muscles. Good, and then as you exhale, fold Uttanasana. Okay, inhale, breath, Ardha Uttanasana, extend. Exhale, step or jump back to your plank. Lower on your exhale. Okay, inhale, your choice, cobra pose, maybe upward facing dog if you're already ready for that. Spend an extra breath, tuck your tailbone to the floor. Feel your heart pull forward. Feel your spine kind of depress into your back. Feel your shoulder blades pull away from the spine, broaden. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your right leg. We're going to step that right foot forward. Spin your back heel to the floor for warrior 1. On an inhale, reach your arms up. Turn your torso forward, ribcage facing the front of your mat. Press into your back heel. We're going to exhale, bring hands behind. Okay, interlace your fingers. Tuck your tailbone, lift up and out of your low back, and then stretch your knuckles towards your back heel. Breathe. Bend your front knee a little more, and on an exhale, we're not going to stay humble warrior long, but on an exhale, fold. Forehead towards the inside of your right foot. Stretch your knuckles to the sky. Just 1 more breath here. Lift your chest up parallel to the floor. Release your hands, palms to plank. Step back and lower on your exhale. Inhale, your choice of upward bend. Down dog, exhale. As you come over your toes, lift your left leg. Exhale, step that foot through top of your mat. Spin your right heel to the floor. Wait for your inhale. On your inhale, rise up. Settle your shoulder blades down your back. It's okay for the hips to be slightly off center. The right hip is going to be back, but turn your rib cage forward. On an exhale, take your hands behind you. Interlace your fingers. Tuck your tailbone a lot, tone your belly in, and then lift your sternum to the sky. Extend your knuckles towards your back heel. Roll the shoulders up and onto the back for one more. Okay, and as you exhale, your ribs are not going to lay on your left thigh. They're going to drop inside. Let your head sink towards your inner left heel. Try to reach your torso straight forward. Squeeze the shoulder blades on the back as you reach your knuckles to the sky. Lift your chest up parallel to the floor. Release your hands, place down. Okay, step your left foot back and lower. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Okay, exhale, take a little rest in child's pose. That was a lot and we're still just getting started. Take a breath. Good. Okay, we're going to come back up, downward facing dog. Okay, from your down dog, bend your knees. See the top of your mat. You can step or jump up. Halfway lift with your inhale. And on your exhale, deep full fold. Take an extra breath in your Uttanasana, maybe grasping the back of your ankles or your calves. Shrug your shoulders up the back towards your waist. Find Mula Bandha and Uddiyana Bandha, so pelvic floor, low belly, pulling in and up. Fold a little deeper. Okay, bend your knees, Utkatasana. Again, inhale, arms come up overhead. Okay, exhale, bend the elbows, squeeze the shoulders back. Two more. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, back. Good. Inhale. Last one. Exhale, cactus arms. Good. Press all the way up to stand. Palms press overhead if you can. Tone your belly in. Drop your chin towards the base of your neck as you look up towards your hands. Hands to heart. Exhale. Okay, we're going to take our both arms, I'll show you how. Both arms up and over. Cross your wrists behind your head, behind your neck, and place your hands to opposite shoulder blades. Okay, so we see that. Press the head back into the hands. Good, so standing top of your mat, root your right foot down. Lift your left knee. Good, take a breath here, find steadiness, pelvic floor engaged. Okay, we're going to step our left foot back. Reach that back into a lunge. Okay, now we're all going to square the hips forward towards the front of your mat. Bend your back knee and dip for 3. Okay, stretching the foot as you come up. 2 as you lower down. Good, and 1. Okay, now stay low with your left knee hovering off the ground. Reach your arms up and overhead. Really pull your left hip forward and your right hip back. Good. Tuck your tailbone, lift up a little higher. Your knees bent a lot. Good. Take your hands behind you. Interlace your fingers. Okay, now again, really pivot your hips to square the front of your mat. Squeeze your inner thighs towards the center. Lift up and out of your low back. And reach your knuckles towards your back calf. One more breath. Good. Reach your arms up. Touch your hands to the floor. Step it back to a plank. Good, take a breath here. Lower to hover. Inhale to upward facing or cobra. Exhale, downward facing, 3 breaths. Try to let your body come into a stillness in these moments. Just breath. Okay, you can step or jump up to the top of your mat. Inhale your halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Press your feet to the earth, reach the arms to the sky. So here, see if you can bring your hands in front of you. Press your palms. Okay, hands are at a little angle out of your chest. Now I'm going to put a soft bend in my knees, scoop my tailbone under, and start to bring my chin to the base of my neck. So as I lift my arms up, my heart, my sternum bone is reaching in line with the hands. Maybe eventually I can lean back a little further. Maybe the shoulders stretch a little more, maybe arms move back. Okay, hands to heart as you exhale, take a breath. Okay, so take your hands up and behind your head again, and now try the opposite way. Okay, so put the opposite hand on top. I'm sorry I didn't instruct it. I hope you can remember which was which. It's probably the way that feels more awkward, yeah? Okay, press your hands back into the forearms. Okay, press your left foot to the floor and then lift your right knee. Good, hug the inner thighs towards center here, find your core. And we're going to step our right foot back. Good, to a lunge. So the feet are about hips width apart. Okay, tuck your tailbone down, draw your low rib cage in. With your inhale, straighten your right knee, stretch the bottom of your right foot. And exhale, lower, hover that knee just over the floor. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Hover and stay. Tuck your tailbone more. Okay, pull your right hip forward, left hip back. Extend your arms. Let the shoulders draw down the back. Keep that knee hovering over the floor. You might be shaking. And then take your hands behind. Interlace your fingers and stretch your knuckles towards your back calf while you tuck your tailbone so strong. Again, scissor the inner thighs towards the midline. Pull your right hip forward. Good, arms reach up. Hands touch the floor. Step it back, lower. Okay, inhale to an upward facing. Take a moment, feel even down into the quads, stretching if you can. That last one, work the quads quite a bit. Good, as we exhale, you choose child's pose or down dog. So keep it up or mellow it out, 3 breaths. Take a moment to notice that you showed up to your yoga mat today. Take a moment to feel the sweetness of your breath, the beauty of this awesome morning or afternoon, depending where you are. Okay, downward facing dog. Anchor your left hand to the floor, pull your left shoulder blade on your back. Unplug your right hand from the ground, reach your left ankle. Okay, twisted dog, look up underneath your left arm. Can you pull with your right hand deeper into the twist? Good, replace your right hand to the floor. Press that right hand down and pull your right shoulder blade down your back. Take your left hand to your right ankle, thigh, or calf. Try to keep your hips level. As you pull with your left hand, look up underneath your right armpit. One more breath. Good. Replace two hands to the floor and then shift forward. Hover your knees over the ground again just for 3, 2, 1. Drop them down. Kick your left leg back. Point your thigh and toes straight down at the earth. Reach your right arm forward. Okay, turn your right thumb to the ground. So your right palm faces out to the right. Reach that hand back, bend your left knee. Find your inner left arch of your foot. Good, now press your foot back into your hand, tuck your tailbone. Just like you would cobra pose, pull your left hand towards the back of your mat. Curl your heart forward. Okay, press the foot into the hand to feel the right shoulder stretch. Okay, extend your back heel, right arm. Draw your left knee, right elbow underneath you to touch. Re-extend your left leg. Okay, we're going to turn our right foot out to the side. This might require some adjusting. See that your knee is under your hip and your right hand is under your shoulder or a little bit forward. Okay, fire up the outer hip muscles on your left leg. Reach your left arm up. Okay, so another half bind. Reach back for your foot. Now your palm is on top of your foot. Okay, press your foot back into your hand. Good. If you're balanced here, you might be able to look up towards the sky. Tuck your tailbone to let the hips slide slightly forward. Okay, now you can pull that foot or that heel in towards your hip. So now becoming a little more of a quad stretch. Okay, you're going to re-extend your left leg. Bring two hands to the floor. Okay, tuck your left toes to the ground. Tuck your right toe, lift your right knee, plank pose, hold. Really draw your belly in towards the spine. Almost feel like the back body rounds up towards the sky. Downward facing dog. Okay, lift your left leg up and back, bend your knee. Root your inner right heel to the floor. Okay, now from here, slowly, if you like, you're going to roll onto the outer edge of your right foot, and maybe that left foot drops to the floor behind you. So a wild thing pose. Tuck your tailbone towards the heels. Good. Curl your chest forward towards the front of your mat, just like a cobra. Keep the belly slightly toned for one more breath. When you turn back around, see if you can turn around slowly. Good. And then don't hyperextend the spine in this downward facing dog. Tuck your sit bones towards your heels. Feel the lower back lengthen. Good. Roll up to the ball ridges of your feet. Hover your knees just over the floor for 3, 2, 1. Good. Place your knees. Okay, we're going to kick our right foot back. Point your thigh and toes at the ground. And then reach your left arm forward. Okay, turn your left thumb to the floor. And then sweep that arm behind you. Bend your right knee. Grab the inner edge of your right foot. Tuck your tailbone towards the floor. Flare your right toes as you push your foot back into your hand. Keep the belly toned. Let your heart curl towards the front of your yoga mat. Okay, we're going to extend. Right heel, left arm. And then bend elbow to knee underneath you, maybe even squeezing your nose in towards your knee, hold. Good, re-extend your right leg. Okay, Now you're going to swing your left toes to the side. You'll be seeing my back for this one. Adjust your hand if you need to. So left knee under your hip, left hand, a little forward of your shoulder. Okay, we're going to pick up that right hip, right foot. Okay, we're going to bend that right knee, and this time reach back. Your left hand on the outside edge, top of your left foot. Tuck your tailbone forward here, press your foot back into your hand. Let the foot pressing back into the hand guide the shoulder open on the right side.
9 a.m.
Take one more breath. Good, re-extend your right foot. Okay, turn everything back to the floor. Good, tuck your right toes behind you. Oh shoot, you know what? I forgot. We're gonna come back here. Forgot this version to pull your heel towards your hip. Okay, so turn this into a quad stretch for a moment, squeezing your heel towards your glute. Okay, now re-extend that right foot, turn your palms to the floor, tuck your right toes to the ground. Okay, tuck your left toes, lift that knee up, plank. Lower on your exhale. Good, upward facing pose on your inhale. Okay, down dog as you exhale. Once you come there, lift your right foot. Keep pinning your outer left thigh back. Bend your right knee. Good, now slowly you'll turn over to the outer edge of your left foot, and then maybe you can release the right foot all the way to the floor. Breathe your wild thing, really scoop your tailbone towards your knees. Let yourself breathe. Good, slowly come on out. Okay, again, a downward facing dog where we're focused on now lengthening our low back. So if you tend to drop your belly towards your thighs, try not to. Extend your spine into a neutral position. Feel the low back lengthen. We're going to make our way slowly towards the front of our yoga mat. Halfway lift. On an exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Good. Let yourself roll up to stand here. Slowly, slowly. Good. As you come up, set your head on your shoulders. Let your shoulders soften down the back. Okay. Good. I'm going to bring my feet in towards the midline. I suggest that, but if that's uncomfortable, let your feet be slightly apart. So balls of the feet together, heels slightly separated. Bend your knees. Okay. We'll counterpose those wild things. Reach your arms up, chair pose. Draw your belly towards your spine, knit the low rib cage in. Okay. Now we're going to twist to the left. Bring your right arm outside of your left knee. Okay, I'm going to use my left hand to guide myself a little deeper into the twist. You can bring your right fingertips to the floor. If you have a block, could place that block under the hand. Left arm's going to reach up. Work your deep breath. Every time you exhale, there's a little bit deeper you can get in the twist. Stay for one more. Nice. Now lift your heels up. Okay, we're going to come to a squat, heels lifted. Okay, so your option pose here is Parivrita Bakasana, side crow. Okay, so I'm really going to dig my right arm, my right knee up into the right armpit. Then I'm going to turn my hands to my side, place my hands to the floor like plank pose. Okay, squeeze the belly in, hug your inner thighs towards center, Okay, and if it goes, you're gonna lift your feet up off the floor. This is a place you could put a block underneath your head if you were worried about falling forward. Take one more breath. See if you can slowly turn your toes back to the floor. Okay, come forward towards a squat and then sit down. Catch your breath here. Mostly that's for me. Okay, I'm going to tuck my tailbone under and slowly start to roll to the floor. Lower back on the ground. Lift your knees straight up and down over your hips. Head up off the floor, arms forward. Press your low back into the floor. Okay, extend your legs. Lower your legs, low boat. Okay, lift up, bend your knees right over the hips, hold. Extend your legs and then lower them further, low boat. Up, last one, knees over hips. Extend your legs, lower them, keeping your low back on the ground. Good, draw your knees into your chest. Okay, we'll rock and roll here. You can rock back towards the plow. Eventually we're going to cross ankles, rock forward, step or jump back, down dog. Catch your breath, 3 deep breaths here. At the end of your breaths, you can bend your knees, walk, run, or jump, maybe handstand, some of you up to the top of your mat. Halfway lift. Uttanasana fold. Good, we're going to inhale, arms all the way up. Good, exhale, hands to heart. I'll do this on the other side so I'm still facing you. Okay, so we're going to bring the balls of the feet together, heels slightly apart. Bend your knees, sweep the floor with the fingertips, Utkatasana. Tone the low belly in. Good, and then twist. Find length in your left side. I'll use my right hand to press into my right thigh, deepening my twist before I start. Your left hand might come to a block. Maybe it reaches to the floor. It could also just hover, that's fine. Okay, so sit low. Try to squeeze your knees so that they're balanced forward on your mat. As you exhale and continue to twist your belly, maybe you're looking up, maybe your twist deepens a little bit every time. Okay, slowly come on down, lift your heels. Okay, so a toe stand squat. Now I'm going to retwist. Okay, I'm going to really try to get my left knee way up into my left armpit. The higher you can get that knee on your arm, the more room it has to move if it does start sliding out. Right, so we want it way up towards the armpit. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Place your hands to the floor like chaturanga. Squeeze your belly, maybe your knees and feet hover. Okay, for twisted crow pose, take 3 breaths. Pull the right shoulder blade on the back. Okay, slowly see if you can set yourself back into that squat, arms reach forward. Sit. Catch your breath. Slowly tuck your tailbone under. We're going to roll onto our back. Okay, half boat to low boat. 3 more times. Knees straight up and down over the hips. Lift the bottom tips of the shoulder blades up off the floor. Extend your feet. Lower. Okay, up, bend your knees. Hover knees right over the hips. Extend, lower. Good, up and bend. Last one. Okay, extend, lower, hold. 3, 2, 1. Draw your knees into your chest, let your head rest. Good. Okay, from here, we're going to roll over onto our belly. Okay, put your elbows on the floor like Sphinx pose. Press into your elbows and pull the rib cage forward. So the belly's up off the floor as much as you can get it. Pull the chest forward. And then turn your right arm so it's at an angle in front of your chest. Okay, we're going to reach back for the left heel or left foot with the left hand. Okay, we're going to pull that left heel towards the glute. Good for a quad stretch. Now really anchor your tailbone towards the floor. Try to keep your left knee pulling in towards the midline. To avoid a cramp in your hamstring, flare your left toes and push your foot into your hand. Take one more breath. Good, slowly release that leg. Okay, make a little pillow with your hands. Set your forehead. Take your knees wider on your mat. Bend your knees, feet to the sky. And then reverse windshield wiper your legs back and forth. Take a moment to really notice and feel where your body is now after all this work. Okay, reach your feet back. Pull yourself up to Sphinx pose. Press your elbows, lift the chest forward. Okay, and then turn your left hand in front of you so it's at an angle and you're propped up on the left forearm. Okay, reach back, bend your right knee. You're going to reach back for your foot. As you pull your foot in, flare your toes. Okay, that's going to be a little easier on the hamstring lest it cramp here. Okay, and we're pulling right heel towards the glute. Still curl your chest forward just like cobra pose. Still pull your right knee in towards the midline. One more breath. Great, release that foot. Take your hands by the low ribs, press up to a cobra, maybe an upward facing dog. And as you exhale, bring your knees together, child's pose, over knees at the midline. And that's going to give a little more release to your low back, which we want because we're going to do a little more back bending, so let's get a little bit of length there before we do that. Great. Notice the fullness of your breath as we've really moved in a way that opens the lungs. Right? That's increased our heart rate in a way that we're breathing deeper and more fuller. Allow yourself just to notice that as we stay here. Okay, downward facing dog. Okay, tone your belly, press the palms down. Okay, bend your knees, see the top of your mat, walk, run, or jump. Okay, at the top, extend your spine, lengthen. Fold, deepest Uttanasana yet. Inhale, reach to the sky. Okay, hands to heart on your exhale. Okay, so here's a good place to grab a block if you have one. Okay, I'm going to come from standing. I'm going to set my block down outside of my right foot. We're going to take half moon pose right side. So I'm going to reach my right arm up to the sky, fire up my core here. And then I'm going to lift the left foot. Okay? And I'm going to start to extend that left leg back. So I'm in balance this whole time. I'm in dynamic motion. Okay, I'm going to bring my hand to my block. I like to use a block because if not using a block, In order to reach the floor, that right hamstring has to be pretty hyperextended. Okay, so I've not found the need to overstretch my hamstrings after 15 years of yoga. They're long enough. Okay, so if you have long enough hamstrings, maybe bring that block up to your hand. Good, so I'm turning open to the left side of my yoga mat. Fire up both inner thighs. Okay, my right hand's on my block. And then I'm going to bend, again, so we're working with these Chapasana variations. I'm going to squeeze my heel towards my glute first. Okay, so the anchor here is the right inner thigh. Drive that into the floor. Press the ball of the right foot down. Okay, and then I'm going to extend my foot into my hand for Ardha Chandra Chapasana. Okay, if your balance feels really good here, maybe you can look up towards the sky behind you. Okay, coming out, start to turn towards the floor. Okay, come on up. Now release your left knee. Bring your hands to prayer as you cross your left knee over the right. So eagle legs. I'm going to wrap my right arm on top of my left. Cross up the arms. Good, and then I'm going to round over the legs. So giving my back this rabbit-like extension, or like cat pose, extension. Good, squeeze everything to the midline. So it's counterposing to the half moon pose, right? Which is all open and away from the midline. Now we're hugged in, closed at the midline. Good, unwind as we come up, reach the arms up. Good, left knee to chest. Exhale your left foot to the floor. Let your arms rest by your sides. Samastitihi, stand in balance. Good, let all of those sensations move through your body, muscles, nervous system. Feel what you feel. Okay, second side. Block outside of your left foot. Okay, and we're going to come in balance. So lift your right knee. And then as we move towards the floor, you're stable the whole time. Use your pelvic floor and low belly muscles to stay balanced. Okay, the left inner thigh really makes this pose, hugging towards the midline and rooting into the ground. Okay, inner thighs fired as we open up, lift halfway, or lift that back foot up. Good, bend your right knee, grab the foot with the hand if you can, so Chapasana variation. We're pushing our foot into our hand. Tuck your tailbone, let the chest open forward. Good, give yourself one more deep breath here. Okay, so as we release out, do so slowly, one little step at a time. Okay, it doesn't matter exactly how it looks, but start to stand up. Pull your right knee to your chest. Cross your right knee over the left. Squeeze your inner thighs together a lot. Okay, bend into eagle legs, like a chair pose. Take your left arm on top. Wrap the elbows. Good, we're gonna lower. Okay, so feel your back round like cat pose. Hug everything into the midline to counter pose half moon. Arms squeeze in, legs squeeze in, round your back. Okay, slowly come up and out. First, releasing the arms, reach up. Good, lift your right knee. Yeah, place your feet. Okay, so a moment for you to take a vinyasa on your own. Let's meet in down dog. I'll come with you. Add in here whatever feels good. Okay, from our downward facing dog, we're gonna come forward. Slowly lower all the way to the belly. Good. Okay, I'm gonna lengthen each leg back. So press your hip point into the floor and lengthen your right leg back. Okay, press your left hip point into the floor and lengthen your left leg back. Okay, so 2 long legs. Now push your hands into the floor. Lengthen your rib cage forward. Good. From here, we're going to reach our hands back, bend both knees, grab the outsides of your feet for wheel or Dhanurasana pose, bow pose. Roll your shoulders up and then down onto your back. Instead of squeezing your shoulder blades together here, pull your shoulder blades broad. Okay, tuck your tailbone and then start to lift the knees. Good, stay for 3 breaths. Feel yourself float up and down as you breathe. Draw your inner thighs towards the midline as you press your knees to the sky. Push your feet back into your hands. Last breath. Good, go ahead and lower the legs. We're gonna shift back. Okay, again, knees to center, child's pose, just a few breaths. Good, walk your knees forward on your mat. Okay, and we're gonna open the heels to sit in between the heels. Knees can come towards together. You could sit on a block here. Sitting on a block, we're just going to lean back. Okay, you'll come about this far. If your seat is all the way on the ground, you could fold back perhaps to your elbows. Okay, tuck your tailbone underneath and towards your knees here. You could reach perhaps all the way back to the floor. Okay, this is Supta Virasana, or reclined hero's pose. Okay, again, tuck your tailbone towards your knees a lot. Some of you may be reaching your arms up. Good, just let yourself breathe and notice how far we've come in this practice. So I'll even push my shins and my feet into the floor in this pose, tuck my tailbone, actually lifting my glutes a little bit off the floor, pressing knees towards the ground to open up the front body a little further. Okay, last breath here. Reach your hands down by your heels. Push your elbows into the floor. If you're all the way down, come on up. Okay, lift the hips, bring the heels to one side, sit on the other. And make it all the way down to your back. Pull your knees into your chest. Okay, we have 7 minutes left. Let's make the best use of them we can. Place your feet to the floor. 2 choices for this last extension or back bend pose. Okay, bridge pose, some of us. That might be enough for you today. Push your feet to the ground, inner thighs to the floor for bridge. Okay, if you'd like, we'll take our hands up overhead. Really try to point your fingertips towards your hips. Okay, and then we'll lift up here. This will be Urdhva Dhanurasana, wheel pose. We'll lift up here to the top of the head first. Try not to take too much weight in your head. Okay, and then here, make sure the hands are comfortable. So for some of us with tighter shoulders, hands might go wider. If your shoulders are pretty narrow or open, your hands could come in tighter. Okay, squeeze your elbows to the midline. Good, really press through the four corners of your palms. Tuck your tailbone towards your heels. Inner thighs to the floor, breathe. Your belly muscles should be active here. One more breath. When you're ready, slowly lower down. Pull your knees into your chest. Okay, when you're ready, one more back bend. So we'll have done 3 in total, Dhanurasana being the first. So choose again either Urdhva Dhanurasana or bridge pose. Okay, feel free to make a different choice this time than you did last time. As you're ready, come up. So it can help first coming up into wheel pose to lift the heels. Okay, really scoop the tailbone, press the chest forward, but then eventually you'll want to be able to get your heels to the floor. So see if that happens, root the inner thighs down. Keep squeezing your elbows towards the midline. Okay, as you're ready, slowly come on out. Knees to your chest. Take your gaze off to the left. Take your gaze off to the right. Good. We're going to come on up to sit. Stretch both legs forward. Okay, you can widen sit bones back slightly. As we come here, tone your belly, and we're going to lean in, starting our finishing poses, Paschimottanasana. Just let everything really start to quiet down at this point. Okay, very flexible here. You can press your heels forward. You can widen your sit bones back. You can bow your forehead into your shin so the upper back opens as well. 3 more steady breaths. Slowly come up. Slowly lie down. Okay, hug your right knee into the chest. Bring your right knee across the body, easy little twist. Bring your right knee to center, stretch it out. Left knee to center, easy twist. Okay, come on out. Okay, so those 2 blocks you have. So I'm going to tuck this first block just so that the bottom tips of my shoulder blades catch the top edge of the block. Okay. If you want that back bend to feel a little more active, you can lift the block underneath your shoulder blades to the 2nd level of height. The block under your head could be on level 1, the lowest height. So this variation being a little more active. If you want the more restorative version, take the block under your head to the 2nd height and the block under your shoulders to level number 1. Okay, this will feel much more restful. So you choose. Again, the very top edge of the block under the shoulders should just be on the bottom tips of the shoulder blades. So feel free to stay in this restorative pose as long as you like. When you're finished in the pose with the blocks, you can pull your blocks out to the side, okay, and then rest for a full Shavasana. Thank you guys for joining me today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. New videos are coming out weekly. These classes are free, but if you'd like to make a donation to Venmo, it's at Soul Shape Yoga, not required. Please enjoy. Have a great day. Namaste.